morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. We're here with our iced coffee, our Thursday's 13 list of, what was it again? Song titles that don't match what the song's actually about. So, I think the example you gave is it's about fast car, but has nothing to do with cars. That song has nothing to do with cars. There's a little hint for you today. We also have some general news stories about what's going on in the world today. So let's get started with the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter's news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into our list and spin that segue wheel. Today on Thursday's 13, half of England in a drought as July sets to be the driest on record. Yay, climate change! Climate change?
Oil prices jump, but Dow stocks are still down as AI stocks are sinking. And as the AI bubble is starting to burst, and a retired French tourist has been in jail for taking a picture of a train for 3 months.
Speaking of hot weather, parents are missing quality time with their children due to excessive phone scrolling during their summer holiday. Why would I hang out with my kids when I can doom scroll about Trump?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Let me get on with my anger management techniques of doom scrolling my life away. And on Thursday 13, we're going to talk about song titles that don't exactly tell you what the song's about.
In my culture news, DJ Kavinsky, known for his track Night Call, is found dead at his parents' home at age 50.
And it's National Cheesecake Day and National Chili Dog Day. Hey, gastronomical delight people, can you space these things out a little bit? We don't want to eat both of these things one day. It is July 30th, 2026 on Before Coffee.
The summer is almost coming to an end. One more month left of the summer.
We thought we had a worse combination. Maybe a worse combination. Yesterday was chicken wings and lasagna, not a good combination. Individually, but not at the same time. But today we got cheesecake and chili dogs.
That's so filling.
These both start with CH.
Yeah.
Other than the alliteration aspect of it. I would follow chili dogs with anything other than recuperation.
Some soda maybe, so you can add some more acid to your stomach.
Large belch, like carbonated beverage.
It's sad that when you think of a chili dog, you think of like a chili dog eating competition, not just like one by itself. It's always like 5.
Yeah, think of what goes into making a hot dog and what's in a hot dog, and then you add some mysterious meat substance.
Still,
you made it yourself. That's most people don't. They just go.
Sure. Go for it, Tommy. As make sure you just put it on a dog.
Yeah, if you're in Chile and you eat a dog, I think that counts. So yeah.
Okay. Our first segue is a bad pun. Speaking of bad puns, you just did one for free.
Hey, yeah, the chili dog one. I did 3 of them actually, but hey, who's counting?
Our first story, actually, I only have one story in each section today, so our only story in this section today is about the drought happening in England and probably the rest of Europe, but this specific story is about the drought in England by Jane Dalton on The Independent. Half of England has been declared officially in a drought as farmers warn the extreme conditions and record-breaking heat waves are making it harder, riskier, and more costly to produce food. The Environment Agency says 7 regions across central, eastern, and southern England are in drought after what is thought to be the driest July on record, combined with soaring temperatures. Agency bosses warned of lasting effects of absence of rain on the environment, wildlife, and the economy. While experts say farming was becoming increasingly precarious. One farmer told The Independent that supermarkets would be forced to raise prices of cereals and fresh produce, and warned there could be shortages of some products such as baking potatoes this year. Tom Lancaster, land, food, and farming analyst at the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit, ECIU, warned that climate change is now taking us into the uncharted territory of constant droughts. I feel like people predicted this would happen, but I guess nobody was preparing for it to happen.
Yeah.
Well, water minister...
It's going to happen on that other planet, that other Earth we know about. Yeah.
Exactly. Water Minister Emma Hardy said that UK must prepare for a new normal as droughts become increasingly common. The region officially in drought are East Anglia, Hertfordshire, and London, the Thames Valley, Hampshire, the Isle of Wight, Devon, Cornwall, the West Midlands, and Wessex, which covers Dorset, Somerset, Wiltshire, and Gloucestershire, which are all great farming places. England has just 7% of its expected rainfall this year. 7. Not 50, not 87, 7. They were expecting 93% more rain this year, and they didn't get any of it. With the southern part of the country experiencing even more drastic 1% expected rain, which is likely to mean this month will go down as the driest July ever. Then there's a lovely picture of an entire field with no grass, just dirt. In Blackheath in South London, no grass. This is supposed to be it's supposed to be a park that you can hang out in. There ain't no park. Just dry dirt. Environment chiefs say much of the country has experienced a flash drought, one that has come on quite despite a very wet winter as a result of dry weather in spring and summer and a series of heat waves that put pressure on resources. Some parts of the UK are seeing the 4th heat wave of the summer, with temperatures reaching into the mid-30s. This follows record-breaking heat waves in May and June, and the 3rd earlier this month, which have hit agriculture, rivers, and the natural environment, prompted widespread wildfires and led to hose-pipe bans for millions of people. You know what you should do? Plant some trees. I know it's probably too late now, but trees do help save the ground from the sun. They're great shade for the sun.
Buffaloes and beavers, baby.
Maybe start applying some hot, like, desert steppes irrigation techniques, because that's the only way we're gonna get water. Where was I? Yes. It comes after North Wales and Upper Severn areas of Wales became the first UK areas to be in drought last week. Wisely in Surrey is now thought to be the driest place in Britain, after going 43 days with no rain. No rain is forecast until Monday next week, and even then the amounts are forecast to be fairly modest. For many arable farmers, the damage is already done. Yeah, I would have said the damage was done in that first heat wave, because that was just a telling of the times. Paul Francis of Long Farms in Suffolk said that the prolonged lack of rain has damage effect on yields of oilseed rape, potatoes, onions, and carrots, and that those vegetables were likely to be smaller. Yeah, I know, right? There's a climate crisis happening. You feel helpless, he said. England is usually good for enough rain for crops, and a lot of money goes into growing them, but the weather can spoil it. These are the same people who complain about the rain, by the way. I guess you shouldn't have been complaining about how much rain the UK gets, because now you're getting none. Whoops. He said there would potentially be a shortage of baking potatoes and onions, and supermarkets should raise prices to compensate farmers. What? No, Okay. Oh, there's a drought, and we are going to have a bad return, so we're not going to make enough money. So supermarkets should pay us more for our produce, our subpar produce. I'm sorry, but this is the threat that happens when everyone's been saying there's going to be a climate crisis. I feel like if you're a farmer and people have been saying for 30 years there's going to be a climate crisis, you should have been getting ready. And fair enough if you just started farming this year, so you didn't have the 30 years to get ready for it. Yeah, it's just like
about the symptoms of a climate crisis.
I'm going to count this as going on a rant about factory farmers, but like, I really don't want to hear farmers being like, the environment's bad, and now we're not going to get money, so we need to be compensated for the money we're supposed to get if we didn't destroy the environment. Because let's be honest, right? Farmers are. Well, I shouldn't say like all farmers, but animal farmers, right? They are responsible for the climate change. Right?
Yes, they are.
Swaths of cows, swaths of pigs, they're responsible for it.
Large-scale feedlot farms are horrible, fucking disgusting disease.
When I was when I was
And
in
it goes-
not university, when I was in my junior year of high school, scientists were saying we're gonna switch seasons in 20 years. Like it's gonna be winter in the summer and
Oh.
summer in the winter. That's what
the
the
magnetic
climate
field.
scientists were predicting is gonna happen. So I don't know why people are
Right.
trying to yell, "Oh,
And
I'm a
our- and our-
victim." I mean, you are a victim of your own incompetence. National Farmers
Magnetic
Union,
north
FU.
is shifting.
Yeah.
Magnetic north is shifting. Ooh, that affects the weather.
National Farmers Union Deputy President Paul Tompkins said farmers and growers have always had to contend with the weather, but that what they are experiencing now is climate change in action. Across every sector at every part of the country, farmers and growers are seeing at firsthand the impact of dry weather and drought, with more extreme conditions making it harder, riskier, and more costly to produce the nation's food. The farmers have been forced to harvest some crops early, with some, such as cereals, producing poor yields. Livestock farmers are using winter feed for livestock as a result of poor grass growth, and even those with on-farm reservoirs say they are likely to run out of supply next month in areas in the drought. I think a lot of these UK farmers need to talk to their Australian cousins and ask them what they do, because Australia obviously deals with a drought every year because it's Australia. Helen Wakeham, Helen Wakeham, Director of Water of the Environment Agency and Chairwoman of the National Drought Group, said that the hot and dry weather meant water was being used more quickly than nature could replenish it. Yeah. Oh God, we don't have enough water to replenish all the lack of water. So then we just drain the water more. The UK is increasingly suffering from extreme weather, such as droughts and severe heat waves fueled by human-caused climate change, mostly as a result of burning fossil fuels. Temperatures reached 35.2 C at Riddle in Essex on Wednesday, which would have been the 29th of July, marking the 7th day this year when temperatures have hit 35 Celsius or above. Before this year, the record number of days at 35 Celsius or above was 5, set in a heat wave and drought summer of 1976 and in 2020. The heat is set to ease off later this week, but the dry conditions are expected to continue. Met Office meteorologist Liam Eslick told The Independent that high pressure was going to be the dominant factor for much of August and the first half of September. So don't expect any soaking of rain. If you want a good soaking, a good long period of rain to come, in the forecast at the moment, especially over the next few days, there's not actually a lot of going on in England. Bless you. But there's my long story, cut a bit short because I skipped a lot of people with their opinions, but yeah, exactly. Whatever you're growing, you need to start growing something else. And people in England are just gonna have to start changing what they eat because you don't have enough water.
Is under Nebraska. It's also under New Mexico. It's a big aquifer.
Oh, really? Yeah. But like they said, right? Maybe corn not supposed to be growing in Nebraska. Maybe it's not supposed to be there.
The thing is, Nebraska's only there because the wagon train broke down on its way to Oregon.
Like a lot of cities, right?
A wagon walked down.
That's what I'm done. I'm stopping here. My grandpa has dysentery, so we're stopping here.
Nebraska, under prairie in the Flat River, which only has water in about 3 months a year. Yeah, Nebraska, I know pretty well.
What's your bad pun?
Bacon. My bad pun. I looked up several bad puns, but most of them are really dry.
Oh man.
Several drought puns. Right, I looked up several drought puns, but these are really dry.
Also, Eric said it's a beautiful 20 Celsius here with a high of 26 Celsius in New York City, but it's also because of that it's changed to a subtropical climate 6 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, it's really been great weather this week. I tell you what, this is perfect weather it's been this week. Although you wouldn't know it on the inside because it just seems to stay hot in the inside.
Well, where you live and where I live
I'm outside all day. Always
Yeah.
going outside all day. No problem. I do sweat, really, until I start to work or something. And I really work that hard.
The difference between where we live and where the UK is that, for example, where I live is a delta, right? It's supposed to be a swamp. So the land itself wants to be underwater, so it's always wet here, even when it doesn't rain.
but you have rich topsoil because it was naturally just water pulling all of the nutrients down to the ocean and dumping them in one spot. So there you go.
Yeah. But that's my only story, so let's roll the next segue.
That's why people live in Mississippi and Louisiana, man. You can grow anything there.
Yeah. But they also. Oh, I thought originally the Mississippi was supposed to go over and like flood everything around its.
No, the Mississippi is a flood. It is a flood channel through New Orleans, but it still floods because you have Lake Pontchartrain, which is above sea level. It's a lake, right?
I thought we did a story before, maybe something I learned myself, but. You actually don't want to control the floodplains. You want to let them be floodplains because they replenish the soil and water into the soil. So this is another thing, right? Yeah. The UK has to look at what it's actually done to its own environment to control nature and maybe let nature be a little wild, because I think in their adventure to control nature, they've cut themselves off from drought resistance. Maybe, right? They made themselves more drought.
Most abused river in America is the Mississippi. They abused it. The Mississippi, Missouri is basically the same system. It's so full of dams and levees at every flood, it just gets pushed downstream.
Yeah.
Every flood just gets pushed downstream.
You should want the flood to happen, really. Yeah.
Town, you can see the flood coming. It was flooding up in Hughesville 3 days ago or yesterday, and that water doesn't take long to get here. So let's put sandbags up, and all the sandbags does is push it even farther downstream, and the flood gets bigger and bigger as it goes down.
Yeah, I don't get why industrial America did that, because obviously Egypt had the Nile, which also floods over, and they had a huge civilization. They didn't.
Crops and you have transportation. You have two things. You have crops and you have transportation. That's why you're on a river. You don't have to build. You just build a boat.
Like, oh, my house got flooded. Okay, you're living on a river. Yeah, like why are you complaining?
Your crops could literally go from your front door on the river to the Gulf of Mexico to the world. Right, so that's where you live on a river. All right, so let's before there was railroads, we had rivers and canals for mechanization. Simile. Okay, got two stories. Just because I don't have a second story in my second segment, so we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about the stock market. Might as well. You have to take the stock market, which is where rich people go to fool you, thinking that their money is real. That's kind of what it is. It's a gamble. You want to call it anything else, it's not. APnews.com. Oil prices, this is Stan Choi. Oil prices jump while Dow drops more than 1,000 points. Even with the oil prices going up, the AI stocks are dragging Wall Street down. About time. We need this bubble to crash so we can actually figure out what economy is based on actual things that are actually happening in the real world, not some AI fantasy. Oil prices got back to jumping on Wednesday, jumping, while sinking technology stocks dragged Wall Street lower amid uncertainty about the Federal Reserve will do to get high inflation under control. Oh, is there high inflation? The government says it's not. Well, again, the government's just lying to you for election reasons. Because, the fascists in charge don't care about facts. The S&P 500 fell 1.5% after swinging sharply between gains and losses in the last hour of trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1,153 points, or 2.2%, and NASDAQ Composite slumped 1.7 to fall 9.8 below its record set last month. If you're bragging on your 401k, everybody, you might want to consider pulling some money out of it, or maybe just reshuffling. Buy some safer stocks, get them to buy you some different mutual funds that only invest in like gold or something. The auction was more decisive in the oil market, of course, where the price of Brent crude leaped 7% to settle at 88.09. Oh boy, it ain't gonna settle there. Why are we acting like it settled there? It didn't settle. I guarantee it's a backup this morning. After fighting resumed in the war with Iran and raised worries about the global flow of oil. What are these people gonna learn? This back and forth Iran thing is just jerking them around. I'm sure these rich people don't care as long as they're making money. Well, I bought at 72 and I sold at 88. I don't care about all the destruction. Did you hear what I just said? I bought at 72 and I sold at 88. My God, can't anybody understand how great this is?
For me specifically,
I just hate rich people are so full of shit. They think their money's going to solve problems. And hey, it never solved a problem. Money's created problems, hasn't solved the problem, though. Actually, physically getting in there and solving the problem is the only thing that will solve a problem, believe it or not. Brent's oil price has swung as low as $72 early this month and as high as 102 last week, and it'll be up there again. And uncertainty whether the United States and Iran could reach a deal, allow oil tankers to move freely again in the Middle East. I don't think there's any way Trump can reach a deal with anybody because nobody trusts him. Why would you trust this guy? The evidence is out there. It's voluminous. Don't trust him. Oil, AI, and interest rates help stocks. Oh, that's a stupid headline. A mini headline within a headline. Thank you very much, AP. The swings have raised worries that inflation will re-accelerate. Inflation has re-accelerated there, guys. If you're going to play the propaganda game, I wish you would just pretend that stop pretending you're a news organization. Inflation has re-accelerated. The fact that the government's not reporting it to you does not change the fact that shit costs more. The swings have raised worries of inflation rate, and traders came into the day betting on a roughly 34% probability the Fed would raise its main interest rate in the afternoon, according to the CME group. Well, I guess we'll find out this afternoon. Higher rates can keep a lid on inflation, but also slow the economy and undercut prices for stocks and other investments. That's right. We're going to raise the rates. Of course, people are going to buy. People will buy government bonds. Federal officials instead voted to keep the federal funds rate steady. Okay, well that happened. The 3 members of the policy committee did want to raise rates. So 3 people on the board said, you know what? The only way to slow inflation, the only tool we have, because we're the Federal Reserve, we pretend we control things, even though we really don't. We can control this one thing, interest rates. And that's the only tool they got. So that's the only thing that's like the old adage, if your only tool is a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. That's the Federal Reserve. They have one tool, lowering interest rates, raising interest rates, and that's all they can ever do. And they act like, the Federal Reserve better do this or this and this. The only real people that care about this stuff actually is rich bankers, because 1 point or 1/10 of a percentage point is millions of dollars that they can make in loans and so forth, right? Or they
Thank
can
you for the Prime sub, Tommy.
Yeah, they're borrowing from the government so they can make more money when they screw you on your interest rates, which there's no limit on what they can charge you. So the big Fed thing, let's have a metaphor for the stock market and the wag the dog war we are engaged in. Wag the dog. Let's continue to fucking make news to distract from the Epstein files and the fact that Trump works for Russia. And Israel. He has a new boss, Israel. Don't forget that. Whoever can blackmail him.
The AI bubble is like the latest scam coming from those people who used to send you mail, right? Hey, you're missing out on the thing, or junk mail, scam calls. You know,
totally driven by politicians.
It's propaganda.
Getting data centers all over the country behind your back without any approval from any voter, and also being driven by what? AI garbage. Yeah, AI garbage. Yeah.
I swear to you that the AI propaganda is like, I guess, our century's version of like anti-communist propaganda. Completely rewrite reality. You know, there's going to be people born after this who are going to be like, AI is great. What's wrong with AI? And they weren't alive for the time before AI, where it wasn't sucking up the environment and destroying people's livelihoods and all this stuff, right?
It's kind of the opposite.
I was born after this. No, what I'm trying
communist propaganda was everybody's a communist who doesn't agree with my politics. That was communist propaganda.
My simile is more about the idea that I was born after the Red Scare, so to say. So I grew up as a child being like, communist bad, with no other information, nothing else, right? There was I had no education on communism. I didn't know what it was. I just knew, if you're called a communist, that's bad. as a 6-year-old or whatever. And that's what people who are born after AI are going to think. They're going to be like, why would you not use AI? The propaganda is going to infiltrate the younger generations to the point that they'll be like, why would I think for myself? That's weird. Why would I do that?
Yeah, don't worry
I
about
can have AI for that. ChatGPT will tell me what to think. And they're already doing it. Children are already going, ChatGPT, what should I do? I like a girl. Instead of asking their father or their friends for advice, they ask ChatGPT for advice. A robot for advice on a human experience. Yeah.
Don't forget the AI things will just tell you how to build a bomb without any reservation whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll tell you, hey, here's an idea what you can do to that person. You can stalk them and hurt them. Oh, okay. Thanks, AI. No problem. I'm not real.
I felt like Google already had the search thing down, Tommy. I feel like they already got it down. I don't know if they didn't need to improve it with AI, or I guess
back in the day when Google was just the number one hit for that search, and that's all it was. Now it just turned into advertising, and it was over. Once it started selling advertising, that was it for Google. You're going to get ads, and first 5 pages of ads.
Yeah.
Going, buy my thing. I'm not going to give you any information, but buy my thing. Here's a clickbait video. Yay!
Yay! Also, anyway. Good luck with your dog walk, Eric. Thank you for lurking. And your next story about... I forget what it was about.
French tourist has been in jail in Belarus for 3 months for taking photo with train.
Yeah, there you go.
Petapixel.com has a story. Pisala Bendara is the person's name. It's a shorter story. A retired French tourist has spent 3 months in prison for taking a photo of a train while on holiday, with his worried family receiving no information about him or his whereabouts since his arrest. French tourist Boris and his wife traveled to Belarus for a holiday in April to visit some relatives, but he was arrested during the trip. According to multiple news reports, Boris, a railway enthusiast, decided to explore the local area during the trip with his wife, with a photo of a train to share with friends back home. Belarus News. Okay. Hold on a second. They're not giving his last name. Belarus news outlet Nasha Neva reports that according to Boris's cousin, Julian Rizet, as he was taking photos of the train, he was also being followed and filmed by a drone. Soon afterwards, Boris was detained by police for no reason other than taking photos of the train. The family says that Boris has now spent 3 months in Belarus in detention center, and they received no news from him since his arrest. Boris's family and his friends have appealed to the Elysee Palace, the French Interior, and Foreign Ministry, senators and paramilitarians, that's not a word, embassies, and various non-government organizations back in France. Rosette says that in response, they have only received confirmation that their appeals about Boris have been received and messages stating that the matter is being dealt with. That's not any information. It's being dealt with. What's wrong with you? What do you mean dealt with? What the hell does that mean? Rosette says the family has never received any official documents regarding Boris's detention, including information about where he's being held, the conditions of his confinement, or whether he has access to a lawyer. His relatives hope that increased publicity will prevent him from being forgotten and help secure his release. Boris reportedly served for many years as an officer in the French army before later working as an engineer in the energy sector. Since childhood, he's a deep interest in trains and has published articles in specialized railway magazines. According to the Belarusian news outlet Belsat, this is not the first case involving foreign railway enthusiasts who have been faced jail after photographing trains while visiting the country. Japanese tourist Kai Kurui
trains
came to Belarus in December of 2024 to photograph trains and railways and was jailed for 200 days. Meanwhile, in March 2025, Japanese tourist and former teacher Matatoshi Nakanishi was sentenced to 7 years in prison for photographing military sites and infrastructure near Belarus's border with Ukraine. However, Nakanishi was released in December of the same year. Yeah, what the fuck, Belarus? Your trains? What the fuck's going on with your trains? People can't take pictures of your stinking trains. What's special about your trains? Damn, I really want to know what you're trying to hide in your trains. What are you doing? Transporting people to friggin' concentration camps or some shit? What's going on? What are you hiding? What are you hiding, Belarus? What's on your trains? Anyway, there's your, let's have us an accurate metaphor for suspicious government assholes arresting tourists.
Yeah, when you're paranoid like this, you can only assume there's something actually bad happening, right?
Everybody's a spy, right? Yes, they're actually hiding stuff. This is like
when you steal a cookie from the cookie jar.
Yeah.
And you break the cookie jar so that nobody knows that you stole a cookie jar, a cookie from it.
Sort of like that.
In a way, right? You put them in prison, right? You can't ask him, why did you take a picture of that train? Nothing, right? We'll never know because they're in prison.
Oh.
I mean, us. Belarus knows, but yeah, exactly. We don't know, but Belarus knows whatever.
Demanding rights to the lawyer, saying, does Belarus have any rights at all? I don't think they do. They're just a Russian satellite.
They're a Russian asset, so I have no idea. Yeah, I assume that you're just put in the gulag for the rest of your life because you took a picture of a train.
Yeah, he might have gone to, what's the name of their leader's name? Well, not Putin's flying school, but Belarus. I know his name. I can't think of it.
Lukashenko?
Lukashenko, yeah. Lukashenko's flying school. That's where he went.
All I can say is that from growing up, I remember that the bad countries were always the ones that Americans would be stuck in prison for a long time, and you'd have to make trade deals or whatever to get them out.
Paul McCartney in Japan, right?
Yeah, North Korea does that, right? Oh, that guy's locked up. We have to trade them for our own criminals so that we can get our citizen out. Right? For me, bad countries have always been those. And I would say Russia and, I guess in this case, Belarus as well, are those kind of bad countries where you get locked up permanently, and the only chance you're ever going to get of getting out is if you have somebody they want, and you make a trade. So... caught in the crossfires. Our next segue is alliteration headline for my story. Which is going to be about holiday time with your family. This is from Josie Clark on The Independent. Parents of under 18s are projected to spend an average of 80 hours on unintended phone scrolling during their summer holidays, a new survey suggests. Instead of experiencing Crete or, I don't know, Romania, you're just at a resort next to the pool scrolling through your phone. The extensive screen time is impacting family life, with over half, 56% to be exact, of children aged 8 to 16 reporting their parents' phone use causes them to miss important family moments. Mom, did you see I did a flip into the pool? Did you see? Sorry, dear, I'm scrolling through AI videos of cats talking, so I didn't see it. A further 63% believe their parents do not realize the extent of the device usage. They do not realize they're glued to their phones. I wonder if these are millennials, too. Would it be? I guess it would be, right? They're probably millennials. So a bunch of millennials haven't learned from their entire life of having social media that you won't need to put the fucking phone down. The findings from an 18-month study of
how old are millennials nowadays?
30 plus. I think I'm at the very end of millennials myself, and I'm 32. So I like to call myself a zillennial because Melanie is definitely like a Gen Z-ish. And because I did a lot of stuff with Melanie, I got a lot of her Gen Z culture in me, so I call myself a zillennial. Okay, Tommy. I know you're being sarcastic. Yeah. The findings from an 18-month imagine, I'm sure you feel this way because you did miss some family moments because you are working, right? But imagine if you missed my clarinet recital because you were on your phone the whole time, right? You would probably feel really bad about that. So, I don't know. Yeah, these parents need to get...
I wasn't on my phone.
Yeah. The findings from an 18-month study of 16,000 people by Virgin Media O2, which is a British company, reveal the parents of under 18s spend over 2 hours daily using their smartphones unintentionally. The doom scroll. Stuck in the doom scroll, they are significantly more likely than non-parents to fall into these unconscious habits. Probably because they have more to escape from, right? Having children is pretty stressful, so 2 hours to myself where I don't have to worry about my children. Except they also feel abandoned by you. Half of these parents, 50%, admit to having little to no control over their phone and internet use. They try to look away, but they just can't, meaning they are only on track to spend almost 4 full days of the summer break engaged in unintentional smartphone activity. Imagine that. You go on a holiday for 2 weeks, and 4 of those days were just phone use, right? You didn't even go anywhere or do anything. More than 3/4 of parents, 76%, frequently pick up their phone without thinking, compared to 57% of non-parents. Almost half, 48%, check their device 30 or more times a day without a specific reason, leading to an average of 2 hours and 6 minutes of unintentional phone use daily, approximately 40 minutes longer than the average UK adult. And yet again, to make myself feel better, that's why I only look at social media when I wake up and when I go to bed. So I don't look at it all during the day. Like this whole time before coffee until my stream later, I'm editing. I guess you could consider watching YouTube social media, but at least watching YouTube has some. I watch a bunch of long form videos, like educational stuff. So I'm learning still, I guess. I'm definitely not watching any AI stuff. Almost 3 in 4 parents, 74%, said using their phone after a long day helps them relax, and 80% say being online helps them stay in touch when life gets busy. Almost half of children, 48%, said they have had to repeat themselves because a parent was using their phone, while 34% said a parent had missed something they wanted to show them. Look, Mom, I drew this really great oil painting in art class today. That's nice, dear. Oh, look at that AI dog fight the AI cat in a kung fu. That's so much better than whatever my child made in art class. Asked when they most wanted parents to be fully present, children refer to everyday. I mean, it's making me cry just to think about it, right? I can't imagine being a child right now, and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm a new human, and I've done something really that I think is really impressive and cool, and I want my parents to celebrate it with me." And they're like, "That's nice, dear. I'm gonna watch this TikTok instead." You know, it's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like the drunk parents, or the drug addict parents. They're not really parenting either.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is. This is addiction. This is completely addiction to your phone. You're picking it up to check it 30 times a day. You're addicted. You're checking. Did I miss anything on my phone? Did I miss anything? Put it down. Yeah, that's why they have those lock boxes, so you lock your phone away. Anyways, continue with the story. Asked when they most wanted parents to be fully present, children refer to everyday moments, including talking together about their day, family days out, and playing together. Virgin Media O2 had launched a digital intentionality score to allow people to understand how they use their phones and compare their behavior against the national average of 63 out of 100, with higher scores representing more intentional use. The 10-question tool draws on both real usage data and self-reported habits to provide a clear picture of how people engage with their phones. So they probably ask questions like, when you pick up your phone, is it to actually do something on it or to check it? And then a lot of people were saying, what did they say? 74% of people literally picked up their phone to go, what am I picking my phone up for? I don't need to use it for anything. And then 74% of people are
looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
You look up and
since I already have it.
Wow, where did they go? I'm just laying here doing nothing, like a slug.
Dan Hayden, Chief Sustainability Officer at Virgin Media O2, said, "Summer holiday is all a chance for families to spend quality time together. But we know modern family life is busy, and parents are often balancing work, childcare, and everything else in between. Our research shows many are getting caught in unintentional phone habits without even realizing. This isn't simply about individual behavior. Many of the digital services we use every day are designed to keep us engaged, making it easy to spend longer on our phones than we intended. Understanding those habits is the first step toward building a healthier relationship with technology." Strand Partners surveyed 6,002 smartphone users between the 4th of April to the 10th of April, 6,138 people between the 11th and 16th of March, and 2,039 people between the 28th of November and the 1st of December, and 1,000 people between the 18th and the 20th of December. And the census-wide survey, 1,000 UK children aged 8 to 16 between 10 to 14. So they mostly just did smartphone users, 6, 6, 2, 1, so 12, around 15,000. Yeah, around 15,000 people were surveyed, which I think they already said earlier in the article. But only 16,000. But only 1,000 children are actually asked about the... So I guess they need to ask more children to see the more wide. I'm sure there's already child psychologists looking into this. Right. Somebody's already doing their doctorate thesis on the effect on children of phone use and how an absent parent. It's even worse, right? Because if you're an absent parent, at least you're not physically there, right? You've already abandoned them and you live in a different house and you're away, right? When you're an absent parent physically right in front of them at the dinner table, that's a whole different issue.
It's tough being a parent. There's a million ways to fail, right?
Yeah.
There's a million ways to fail. At least a million, probably more. Anyway, I just sent you a video. I was scrolling on my phone. No, I wasn't.
Give me your alliteration.
Well, my alliteration headline is also an oxymoron. So I did a daily double. It said, iPhones intensify indifference. That's intensive oxymoron.
Yep.
I'm really don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. You know?
Yep. Aww. Why would I care about anything that's going on in my real life?
Hey, Dad, the car's on fire. Yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing. After this highlight package I'm watching, I'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm watching every single time this quarterback got sacked on the field for 3 minutes. So I'll call the firefighters after.
He's about to say something intelligent for the first time ever, and I gotta catch it, you know? So
I can't pause a video. Yeah, that's the worst thing, right? You can pause videos. If there's something happening, you can press pause. On Shorts, on TikTok, all those things have a pause, mute button. You can close your phone. You can lock your phone.
Dad,
there's so many ways to pause. Yeah.
Dad, the light's green. Hold on! Dad, gone and almost the end of this cat video. I want to see if him and the puppy will practice.
Our next segment is tell a joke for your Thursdays 13 list.
Oh yeah, Thursdays 13. I gotta do some work. Holy crap! I gotta wake my ass up now. Thursday 13. That's right. Yes. Okay, I gotta open my page of notes because I can put all my notes on here. Ever hear a song in the radio, or you see a song? You hear a song in the radio. I say, "What the name of that song is?" I bet you that song is called "My Boyfriend's an Asshole," and then you find out it isn't called "My Boyfriend's an Asshole." It's called "Superstar" or something like that, which is an actual song. It's about somebody's boyfriend being an asshole because they became a superstar. Look at you, you're on TV, but that's not in our countdown. I just thought of that off the top of my head. The song "Superstar." It's just about her being lonely because, you know, that guy used to be my boyfriend. Now he's a superstar on TV and he's singing about me. I'm just a lonely loser.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the song should be called, or what I say, what the song should be called parenthetically. You know those songs, they put the title there and they have no idea what that record is about because you only know the core of it, right? But they got to put it in parentheses so you buy it. Oh yeah, that song, right? Like the Banana Boat song, in other words. Deo was the Banana Boat song, right? Deo. That's not on my list either. Just another example.
What's on your list?
My list starts. I think most people know all the songs, so I'm not mysteriously out deep album tracks or anything. "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman, which I brought up yesterday.
And I also brought up earlier.
Yeah, I brought up earlier. It's not about a fast car. If you bought this thinking, oh, it's a song about a car. I wonder what car it is. I wonder if it's a Ferrari. No, it's the parenthetical title of this song should be "Your Broke Ass Still Doesn't Have a Job." That's it.
Yeah. There's
an example of what the song parenthetically should say. Fast car, parentheses, "Your broke ass still doesn't have a job." And that's an overall riding theme of the song. "Take your fast car and keep on driving," she finally says. "Get your ass out of my frickin' house. I am tired of you. You ain't that special." Anyway, you just ain't that special. I've known you a long time. You ain't special. You're just here. You're here, and that's about it. Okay, so that's your fast car, which is not about a car at all. Not talking about the brakes, not talking about the chassis, not talking about the pistons or anything. We're talking about this idiot who thinks his life is just, oh, I got a fast car. Anyway, number 2 is about cars too, but it's kind of weird. I love this song. It's one of the best driving songs in the history of the world. "Highway Star" by Deep Purple. Probably should be called "I Love My Car. I Just Couldn't Tell You Even One Thing About How It Works." Because you can listen, there he's It's got driving power and big fat tires and everything. Yeah, my car's got everything. It's got driving power, big fat tires, and everything.
It goes, and
that's it.
Like that. That's how he says it.
I don't know shit about cars. They were just Deep Purple was just writing this song on their tour bus.
It's a great jam.
Yeah, and it's about driving, right? There's the worst feeling in the world. Highway Star comes on the radio, and you're sitting in a traffic jam. You're going, Highway Star. You got to turn the radio off because there's no way you can't. And if there's a way to pause it, you definitely would. But if you just got live radio, that's the worst feeling. Number 3 is The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Is not about boxing. Nobody's fighting in this, although the chorus features somebody hitting a punching bag. The Boxer's merely a metaphor, and the song should parenthetically say, New York City sucks when you're poor. That's parenthetically.
Can our New Yorkers please confirm this? I think it's a fact.
Yes. I know the lyrics like I left my home where there's not really nothing wrong with my home, right?
It's just boring, you know?
New York City,
nothing's happening.
Opportunity is a story of New York City rolling right over you, just rolling right over you like you're not even there, like you're gumming the sidewalk. That's what The Boxer is. Again, it's about being poor in New York City, and boy, oh boy, does it suck being poor. And he's not technically necessarily a boxer, although he could be. The boxer's a metaphor. Every day is a fight, right? So it's not about boxing, not nominally, not literally about boxing. Anyway, number 4 on Broadway, the most famous version is by George Benson, although a bunch of people have covered it. On Broadway is wait, look at this. The parenthetical title should be New York City sucks when you're poor. That's basically the same song repurposed as On Broadway. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say the women treat you fine on Broadway, but looking then just gives me the blues. That's how you're gonna make some time, and all you got is one thin dime. And one thin dime won't even shine your shoes. So being poor in New York City, not the place to be when you're poor. If you're going to be poor somewhere, be poor in Los Angeles. At least the weather's nice. Or San Diego, even better. I much prefer San Diego to Los Angeles. Less smog and more moderate temperatures in San Diego because they get trapped by the mountains, right? That what they call the marine layer gets trapped by the mountains on the coast in the morning anyway. Number 5, as we're talking about, I'm talking about, on Broadway. Of course, the author's on Broadway, his solution to his poverty is to become a big rock star. Does not seem like the right place for that in New York City, right? Might become a session musician, perhaps, but I don't know about rock star. They do have venues, but I think you're probably just better off taking that on the road to these small towns, building up a road following. New York City is not the place to become a guitar hero. But on Broadway, they think it is. That's the theory. Number 5 is 5:15 by The Who, which was a hit song. It was a single off Quadrophenia. And let's look at the parenthetical title for this should be This Train Smells Like Piss, because that's what the song is about. I think it's about you get on a train, and of course one of the first signs is the ushers are sniffing eau de cologne, because the ushers back in those days, he wrote this, I believe, Pete Townsend wrote this song about Beatlemania and the mods and the rockers in the early 60s. And Beatlemania had this thing where girls would just stay in their seat and pee, right? They would go.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, I think.
Even on a train. They pee in the seat on the train. And Pete Townsend remembers getting on a train and it smelled like urine. And ushers are walking from car to car. And there was piss just running on the floor. I just say it. So 5:15, which is the name of a train, out of my brain on the train. Out of my brain on the 5:15. He was out of his brain because it smelled like piss. I'm just guessing. Didn't say it in the song. Number 6 is one of your first transgender songs, Lola. Like everybody thinks, oh, it's obviously a transvestite, but actually it's left ambiguous. But the actual but the actual sub-parenthetical title for the song should be Old Soho is Kind of Freaky. Yeah, because he met her out in the club in Old Soho where you drink champagne and it tastes just like Coca-Cola. That's, first of all, they're probably giving you drugs. That's not champagne. So again, he meets Lola, and it's never actually told whether either he admits to being a novice about sex. So again, he's never been with a girl. So how would he even know what it's like? Think about it that way. But he never actually says whether it's a man or a woman. Never says it at the end. Never says it anywhere in there. It just says, I'm so sexually confused, I'll go to bed with anybody. So that's kind of it. Number 7. This is the one that half the people get right, half the people get wrong. Is that what's reactor? Sympathy for the Devil. Sympathy for the Devil. Get ready to play your Gilbert Gottfried sound effect, by the way. Sympathy for the Devil should be parenthetically, the title should be, There is no devil, you fool. Because, yeah, men did all of this stuff. Men that did all this stuff is the whole theme about the whole thing. And half of the people listen to it going, yeah, you see that? The devil's doing all that. It's right in the title. It's like, no. You're guessing. He's asking you to guess his name. It's not in the title. His name is Man. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. And at the very end, he says, you're to blame. Right? He says, I shouted who killed the Kennedys when after all it was you and me. I'm like, I'm the guy blaming everybody else, but I'm the guy doing the deeds, right? Somebody else did it. It was a devil. How convenient. Sympathy for the Devil's number 7. In other words, blame Man. Pleased to meet you.
The reason it's called Sympathy for the Devil is because, he gets the blame for everything. I have sympathy for the guy. Exactly. He gets blamed, but he didn't do any of that shit.
And he says, as heads is tails, just call me Lucifer. And what does heads is tails means? Whatever. Up is down, left is right, heads is tails. Just call me Lucifer because fuck it. It can't please you anyway. You're never going to take the blame for your own actions. Number 8, Hotel California. What the hell is that about? It's about a real hotel? I think it actually is. And again, the rumor has it, and it should say parenthetically, Graham Parsons checked into the Joshua Tree Inn and never checked out. That's what it's about. Of course, Graham Parsons, one of your legendary figures in popular music, given credit for inventing country rock, which the Eagles totally jumped on that train, right? So Graham Parsons died in the Joshua Tree Motel of an overdose. He was due to be shipped back to his hometown for a funeral. His best friend or one of his friends stole his body from the LA airport, took it back out to Joshua Tree and set it on fire. So not only did Graham Parsons never leave that hotel, he never left Joshua Tree in reality. His body stayed there and it's still there in ashes all over the desert floor. I don't know if you can go visit it, but there's ashes out there. So Graham Parsons, Hotel California should be called the Graham Parsons story. Number 9, one that's played on yacht rock radio stations all over the world, Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. Sundown, that sounds like a pleasant song about sundown. No, this song should be parenthetically titled, Yeah, My Girl's a Little Flirty, but don't be coming around my back door. I'm going to punch you square in the face. So that's basically kind of a long title. But that's what it's about. It's like, sundown, you better take care. If I seen you be creeping down my back stairs. I remember when I was a kid. That's the only reason I could. Sundown. I bet you that's a song about sundown, and it turns into a threat of violence. Yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she has a few. Then she gets, she acts like she's flirting with you. But you know what, buddy? That's not where it is. I'm trying to dump her, but I can't quit her because it's so good right now. Anyway. Miserable Gordon Lightfoot with the girlfriend is making his life horrible. Sundown. Number 10, Helter Skelter by the Beatles. It's not about. I looked this up now. What does the world think this is? What does AI think the song is about? They told me it was about the destruction of society. When actually, it's a song about a big slide and about Paul McCartney telling Pete Townsend, yeah, I'm not just a lover, I'm also a dancer, Pete Townsend, because I can make loud, obtrusive music that puts blisters on your fingers. I was totally
I'm also a rocker.
Yeah, that's right. Paul McCartney's Helter Skelter was a total and complete reaction to one song by The Who. And if you don't think these guys are competitive, the Beatles had to be competitive with The Who. That's how good The Who was. Don't forget about, there was at least a big four in England, even though the Kinks didn't make it in the United States. But there was a big four. And The Who were part of it in as early as 65. And they had a song called I Can See for Miles, which at the time was the loudest rock song. Believe it or not, I Can See for Miles at the time was the loudest rock song. Paul McCartney said, "Hold my beer, I can do better." So that's basically parenthetical. He's saying, "Hey, Pete Townsend, I'm also a dancer." None of my songs. I think what Pete Townsend might have been quoted as saying is that, yeah, Paul McCartney writes a lot of love songs, but you can't dance. Right? That's basically what the quote was. It might not even been Pete Townsend. It might have been somebody else, a journalist of some sort. You can't dance to Paul McCartney songs. Well, stand the fuck by. You can't dance to Helter Skelter either. A lot of people call it the first heavy metal song, but I don't consider it heavy metal. It's more of a punk song than heavy metal. And it wasn't the first heavy metal song either, because Jimi Hendrix existed. Number 11, Barracuda is not about a fish that lives underwater. I think you might know what this song is about. Heart, the band Heart, which was Ann Wilson on vocals, Nancy
most
Wilson
of Heart
on
songs
guitar,
are about their boyfriend or their husband or their lover or whatever. That's what most of their songs are about.
This song is about a record executive at their record company, not Island Records. I forget them. They had a mushroom on their label. Anyway, I'll think of them later. One of the guys from their record label was talking to Ann Wilson backstage and said, "Yeah, you and your sister are lesbian lovers." Like what? Yeah, that's the thing everybody's talking about.
And lesbians. Yeah.
So that song is totally should be said. So this creepy record executive suggested me and my sister are lovers. That's what Barracuda's about. And of course they dropped that. They dropped that as soon as their contract was up. After they had 3 albums, they went to another record company. Right. What's his name? Real the man. David Geffen, I think, real the man for that. Number 12, song we know very well, Chop Suey by System of a Down. What is this song about? Is it about why did you leave the keys upon the table? Is it about I think it's about me wanting a lot of attention for my own stupid little problems, right? I don't think it's about leaving the keys on the table, but it might be. I think one day the keys were on the table and somebody lost their shit about it for some damn reason, right? And it just became a thing. So I think the entire song is about somebody leaving the keys on the table. I can't decipher anything else about it. And imagine it probably started with that. At least that's my take. I'm going to do assault right to suicide because you're yelling about the keys. That kind of thing, right? Things escalate, right? I guess the subtitles
definitely
should
not
be
about chop suey, which is a dish. They're definitely not talking about that. What's
left in the fridge? And why did you leave the keys upon it? It's definitely an escalation of a small problem. I think that's what it is. And number 13 just quickly, according to, this is also about a record executive because the song was originally going to be called Self-Righteous Suicide, and the record company said, no, you can't call it that. So they just said, we'll just call it whatever the fuck we want. Chop Suey. Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's mostly about minor nuisances in life that just drive you crazy and eventually pile up till you just don't even care about living anymore. Maybe. Good song though. Wake up! Grab your brush and put a lot of makeup.
It's actually
number 13
one
is
of the first cases of social media censorship, right? Oh, we can't say suicides. We have to say unalive. We can't say murdered. So So it says here the song's title was supposed to say "Self-Right Chop Suicide." So that it gets fragmented here. So it was supposed to be titled after what it's about, but then it wasn't because of record executives. I don't know.
Maybe it's because that song "Hair of the Dog" there, right? Son of a bitch, which is just heir of the dog, son of a bitch, hair of the dog is the same thing, right? but nobody got that pun. Nobody got that
Yeah.
pun. They're singing about a dog bar. Anyway, nobody got the pun. Number 13 is Stay With
Our
Me
last
by
one.
The Faces. Rod Stewart, Ronnie Wood, and gang. Stay With Me is not a romantic song about, oh, please stay with me. I love you so much. No, it's like, tonight you're going to stay with me. In the morning, in fact, the first line says, in the morning, don't say you love me because I'll only kick you out the door. So it's like, stay with me. You're not even that attractive and you don't even smell that good, as a matter of fact. But
Wow,
hey,
that's
tonight
rude.
I am alone. Stay with me. Tonight you're going to stay with me. Tomorrow, I don't care what happens. You can't be here. All right, so that is the long parenthetical title for Stay With Me, which is not a romantic song at all, but it's got a great groove, right? Anyway, so there's your list. I mean, we have a...
Woo! List complete. I've got some jokes about songs and artists. Music jokes. What's
Right
the
on.
definition of endless love?
A Lionel Richie song.
Close. Stevie
With Diana
Wonder and Ray
Ross.
Charles playing tennis.
Ow! You got that gets
What's the worst Christmas present ever? A Bonnie
Laser
Tyler
blades.
sat-nav. Keeps telling me to turn around, and every now and then it falls apart.
Ow! That gets a Christopher Walken laugh. Ow! Yeah, that's the worst song to come on the radio.
I fainted in the curry house when I heard REM had split up. That's
Did they
me
split
in
up?
the coma. Yeah, that's a British joke. You need to know what a coma is. But there you go.
Oh. Yeah, Homer.
All right, we got it. The jokes are not funny.
I didn't realize I hit it that many times. All
All
right.
right, let's go to our very short culture news. This is going to be like a 2-second story because it's basically just a death notification. Give me a metaphor assembly.
Oh.
Sad news in the continued sad news in the music world.
You know, I've wrote
DJ
that twice now.
Kavinsky has been found dead
Don't I
at
do?
his home in Paris. This is from Etienne Poponaut on Euronews Culture. French DJ Kavinsky has been found dead at his Paris home, according to local authorities. The body of the 50-year-old, too young, whose real name was Vincent Belorgi, was discovered on Tuesday, the 28th of July. Kavinsky was a leading figure of the house music movement French Touch, alongside Daft Punk, Justice Cassius, and DJ Mehdi. The Paris prosecutor office had said that an investigation to establish the cause of death has been opened, noting that no suspect was found at the scene on Tuesday evening, the 28th of July. France has lost one of its most distinctive voices, French Culture Minister Catherine Pedgard said in a message on social media network Twitter. Both danceable and nostalgic, his music will go on crossing generations and borders. One of his most popular tracks was Night Call, the dark, slow-tempo synthwave hit included on the soundtrack of Drive, 2011. Nicholas Winding Refn's Palme d'Or-winning neon noir thriller starring Ryan Gosling. The track enjoyed a new lease of life during the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. There's something about you I just can't explain. I'm thinking about you, boy, but you're still the same. I think that's how the lyrics go of that song. The DJ performed at the Stade de France alongside Belgian singer Angèle and pop rock band Phoenix, who reworked Night Call for the occasion during the Olympics closing ceremony. A self-taught pianist born in Seine-Saint-Denis, Kavinsky launched his career in the early 2000s, opening in a particular for Daft Punk, and sharing the stage with other emerging names on the electronic scene, such as Sebastian. Kavinsky would have turned 51 on the... Oh my god, he was about to turn 51 tomorrow. He died...
Area 51, wow.
He died, what, 4
Maybe
days
he's-
before his birthday? That's tragic.
Beamed up by aliens. Area 51. That's obvious.
Yeah, maybe. But there's my short story on the sad nude about Kavinsky. If anybody, I knew his music. So I told you it was a short story. It's mostly just a death notification.
Disc jockey is like that guy that reminds you of all the songs that you liked in the correct order. There you go.
Of course, he just made his own song, right? He was more of a, I guess, a music engineer.
I have to work with what I got. Hey, I did send you a video, by the way.
Yes, I have it. And hello, Nicole.
Hilarious
Good afternoon. Thank you for stopping by. Let's get our last segue for this day in history. It's not 2 p.m. yet. That's my only goal with this show, is to end before 2 p.m. That's all I've ever wanted. Mixed metaphor.
Okay, well, we can do it every day. Come on. Of course, I'm kind of slow. I'm the slowest one.
We both
Technology
get on
always
tangents where we want to talk.
Mixed
To be fair,
metaphor?
this is a talk show in a way. Yes, mixed
Didn't you
metaphor.
already get a mixed metaphor?
No, I got accurate. My first segue is accurate metaphor.
Oh, I write them down. Okay, this day in 1540, way back in history, July 30th, 1540, English Lutheran clergyman Robert Barnes was burned as a heretic. Oh, but the good old days of burning people. You know what, though? I'm sure God's sitting around going, smoking a cigar, having a martini, going, yeah, they're burning another heretic. What is that? Humans are just weird. Yeah, they burned a guy because of their own superstition. And anyway, Robert Barnes apparently was used by Thomas Cromwell and King Henry VIII to gain European support for their anti-papal movement. So I guess the Catholics burned them. Whatever. Religion's stupid. That's a recurring theme. What are you fighting about? Who cares? You can't prove none of the shit you're claiming. You know that, right? 1863, American industrialist and automobile manufacturer Ernie Ford was born in the throes of the Civil War. He was born in Michigan. He revolutionized factory productions with assembly lines, mass production. He was turning out Model Ts like every 15 seconds or something like that.
Which is crazy.
1898, Otto von Bismarck, who as a prime minister of Prussia, we know Bismarck, he unified the German Empire. Anyway, on this day, he died. He was the prime minister of Prussia from 1862 to 73. And then again, from 73 to 90, it must have been a couple of months where he wasn't, huh? And he founded the German Empire in 1871, serving as its first chancellor from 1871 to 1890. So Mr. Prussia, Otto von Bismarck, the town of Bismarck, North Dakota. I don't think it's named after him. It might be. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Could be. 1909, French chemist Eugene Schuler who 2 years previously had developed a hair dye that was both safe and effective, established the Société Française des Teintures Inoffensives pour Cheveux, French company of safe, inoffensive hair dyes, which was soon changed to L'Oreal. So if you wonder where L'Oreal got their name from, it came from this guy, Eugene Schuler. French guy, a big long name I tried to pronounce and totally messed it up. 1921, insulin was first isolated as a pancreatic extract by Canadian scientists Sir Frederick G. Banting and Charles H. Best. Charles apparently was not a sir, not sure why, but his name was Best already, so he was already Best. 1930, Uruguay defeated Argentina to win the first World Cup in football. Yeah, Argentina has been losing World Cups since 1930. Yeah, they came in second, or is this known in racing, first loser. In 1936, blues musician Buddy Guy, admired for his slashing electric guitarist, a passion of what was born in Lettsworth, Louisiana. I believe Buddy Guy's still with us. Don't quote me on that. I believe he is still with us. That's why he's turning 90 today. 1942, Frank Sinatra sang with the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra in his last recording before his solo career. It was it for him. I'm done singing for you, Tommy. Take your big band and shove it, he said. I'm going to go get me a singing, crooning career and never looked back. Old blue eyes. I don't know. I'm just inventing things. 1965, Lyndon B. Johnson signed amendments to the Social Security Act that established Medicare and Medicaid. That's right. It sucks being poor and not having any money, which is kind of the definition of being poor, and you get sick on top of that, and you can't pay for that either, so they just let you die. That sucks. 1974, after receiving a subpoena from the U.S. Supreme Court, President Richard M. Nixon released the Watergate tapes to a special prosecutor. And he resigned about 2 or 3 weeks later. Yeah, Nixon was a short timer this time in 1974. Once he was forced to release the tapes where it showed, oh, look at all the shit he was saying. And we got it on tape. He had to resign because, conspiracies are really a thing. They are a thing. You can sit there and go, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, but there's shitloads of conspiracies out there. And even if they're ones that are fake, there's plenty of real ones. Also, by this date, the House Judiciary Committee had adopted 3 articles of impeachment, and even Republicans were voting on them. So that was it for Nixon. He saw the writing on the wall. Sticky the Clown can't read, so he was never going to read the writing on the wall. And he's just going to walk past the wall and pretend the wall ain't. He probably put his own name on the wall and say, that's my wall. As a metaphor turns into non-metaphor. In 1975, Jimmy Hoffa disappeared in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. He was put into some kind of a sausage-making machine or some kind of incinerator. I think he was put in some kind of incinerator, quite frankly. He was never found, and still to this day. Of course, the movie The Irishman tells you exactly what happened to him. They killed him in a house that they were being renovated, rolled him up in the carpet, took him down to the incinerator, and threw him in the incinerator. 2007, Swedish screenwriter and director Ingmar Bergman died at the age of 89. Also, Ingrid Bergman's brother, don't forget that, who was also known for his bleak depiction of human loneliness, vulnerability, and torment. This is why Swedish got this reputation for being dark, I think. I think that's it. I think they got it from this guy in particular. Ingrid Bergman, of course, was in Casablanca.
Yeah.
Oh,
and some who actually escaped the after World War II. She was in real life, she escaped World War II.
2020, NASA began its Mars 2020 mission with the launch of the rover Perseverance from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening July 30th. 1956, In God We Trust is the official motto of the United States. That's, we can trust God all we want. God don't give a damn. God is totally indifferent to our suffering, and it's time to learn that. If he did care about our suffering, he would have done something about it by now, right? Hey, suffering, that sucks. Let's stop it. Nope, he don't care. So why we trust in some guy that don't care? I have no idea. On this day in 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed legislation making God We Trust official motto of the United States because, communists. That's basically all it was. Communists don't believe in God. Therefore, if you're not believe our religion, you're a communist. And we're going to put in our money to make sure you know that. Again, the people that are afraid of communists are not really afraid of communists. They're afraid of their perchy little position looking down on the world is going to be affected in some way. The following year, the phrase began appearing on $1 bills. It was later added to larger denominations. The new motto replaced the country's longstanding unofficial one, E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one, which is actually more fitting to a country that's trying to survive with a bunch of disparate populations from different parts of the country, right? But instead, it's all this, put it all on God, blame God. It just goes back to the same bullshit. We can't take responsibility. Let's go back to the sympathy for the devil. We can't take responsibility for shit. We got to blame God or the devil or who the fuck. Some invisible man out there is doing it all. Our featured event is the sinking of the USS in Indianapolis. Let's just call it cannibalism. The USS Indianapolis was sunk on this day in 1945 by Japanese submarines shortly after leaving the internal components of the atomic bomb that were later dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Some 900 men died, many of whom submit to shark attacks, dehydration, and salt poisoning as a way to rescue. There's a story from one movie where he's telling this, I forget who it is, telling the story about the USS to Indianapolis, and everybody's like, oh my God, it's horrible. Why would you tell that story to us? Featured birthday today, Henry Moore, born on this day, 1898, was an English sculptor whose organically shaped abstract figures in bronze and stone constitute the major 20th century manifestation of humanist tradition and sculpture. Also the birthday of British decathlete Daley Thompson, born in 1958. Bud Selig, former owner of the Milwaukee Brewers and former commissioner of baseball, born in this day, 1934. I'm not sure Bud's around. He might still be, but if he is around, he's 92. Thorsten Veblen, American economist and sociologist. Other famous birthdays today. We're going to go down the list. We're going to go down the list. The youngest first, because I like scrolling up, because everybody, I think looking up is better than looking down, right? So let's do the scroll of birthdays. Yes, the scroll of birthdays. Oh, it's a big one today. All right. Hello. My computer just does what it wants to. I swear to God, it's what it does. It doesn't care what I'm doing. I'm not getting any names I know. Actor Yvonne Strahovski is turning 44 today. She's born in 1982. National Soccer Hall of Fame member Hope Solo, born in 1981. American goalie. I remember she was the goalie for the American team. Seth Adet, musician, born in 1980, turned 46. Let's get some people actually know about. Actor Hilary Swank, or actress, as they used to call women actors. Hilary Swank, born in 1974, born in 52. Tom Green, remember Tom Green, famously Canadian talk show host, turning 55, married Drew Barrymore for a while. Filmmaker Christopher Nolan, what did he just make recently, huh? Hey, Christopher Nolan, happy birthday! You're 56 today. And what movie did he just recently make that we were talking about?
Odysseus?
I forgot already. I'm just kidding.
The Odyssey?
Actor Simon Pegg. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Every time he makes a movie, it's like a big deal. Don't worry about that. Actor Terry Crews, don't forget him. Who got famous as a fake football player, Terry Tate, and then he became a big actor. Terry Crews turning 58 today. Vivica Fox turning 62 today. Another. Lisa Kudrow turning 63. Lawrence Fishburne turning 65.
Wow,
Filmmaker
a lot of
Lawrence.
people's birthdays today, huh?
Yeah. A lot of them still coming. Still coming down the line. Filmmaker Richard Linklater turning 66. Musician Kate Bush, who I remember being very young, is now 68. And actor Delta Burke, who played, she was in Designing Women. She turned 70 today. 70th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Gene Reno, actor Gene Reno, turned 78. Arnold Schwarzenegger, turning 79. You know who he is. Musician Paul Anka, who's still around. Still a music executive, I believe it is today. Is turning 85. Filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich was born in 1939, so he would be 86. Yes, Bud Selig is apparently still alive because they put ages for people that are still alive in parentheses. So that's how I know they're still alive. So Bud Selig is still alive. Artist Henry Moore, dead. We already did him. Henry Ford, we did also. Writer Emily Bronte, 1818. Part of the Sisters Bronte, who wrote novels. And those are the days and the famous birthdays for today. And National Day Calendar, it's National Intern Day. You got somebody who works in your office that doesn't get paid, treat them nice. They're working for free, theoretically. National Whistleblower Day, so whistleblow on anybody abusing their... if anybody's abusing the interns, you definitely need to whistleblow on them. It's National Support Public Education. Of course, public education, the only education that's worthwhile, and as the oligarchs in this country have tried to kill it completely to make us as stupid as possible so we can't change things. And we don't even know how to change things. Civics isn't taught in school anymore. How to file your income taxes has never been taught in school. How to live is never taught in school. And they want you to be ignorant. They want you to not know this stuff so they can keep you in line. National Cheesecake Day, National Chili Dog Day. We covered that. Don't combine them in any way, shape, or fashion. Just pick one. Pick one. Have the other one tomorrow. Have it on Saturday. And it's National Climb a Mountain Day. And definitely do not climb a mountain after you've eaten chili dogs. You will thank me later for that advice. That is your interesting advice, your bad puns, your jokes, your songs, your lists, everything for Thursday. July is ending. July 30th, 2026, and before cheesecake and hot dogs. I'm sorry, cheesecake and chili dogs. 2 C's, 2/3 of an alliteration headline right there. Cheesecake, chili dogs, and ciao. Ciao, I'm out of here.
Hypothetically,
Uh-huh.
what the forced Christianity of the U.S. probably would have, if that never happened, we'd probably be in a totally different country right now, more secular country even. Europe went completely secular. I think probably after World War II, they were. Maybe even before World War One, they were already going pretty secular.
Monarchy. I think that's the key. That monarchy thing. It always gets you on a religious thing, right? Because that's all Henry VIII did. He changed everybody's religion.
There's plenty of countries that have monarchy. Even the monarchs aren't religious anymore. So.
Yeah, well, unless you're talking about the Middle East, right? Those are all Muslim, totalitarian
no, I'm specifically talking about Europe.
Royalist leaders, yeah. It's evil in any form.
Yeah, it's just interesting that 2 different places, have gone different directions. But hypothetically, they could have not. They could have gone the same direction. They could have gone the same direction by not reinforcing Christianity on monetary, in the Pledge of Allegiance, all that kind of stuff. And that's just my hypothetical.
This is why the space aliens that are here do not want to. They're just observing our stupidity. That's all they're here for. They're not going to interfere. They're just going to let us go. Wow, these people are stupid. They believe a bunch of shit they can't prove. Wow, what a bunch of stupid assholes. I can't believe these guys are an advanced civilization.
For our international UN observances, it's International Day of Friendship. That's right. You can choose to love and not hate other people. As the noise of division grows louder, fueled by wars, conflicts, inequality, and fear, friendship feels almost radical in its simplicity. They just like learned. People.
Hate is a learned behavior. Absolutely 100%. You don't hate anybody when you're born. You have to be taught to hate.
It's also International World Day of Against Trafficking. Yeah. Don't traffic people. People want to get a better life, but they also want to have the freedom of the better life and not be trapped behind a scam. Traffickers often recruit victims through fake job advertisements. They promise legitimate employment opportunities and abroad, believing they are accepting genuine work. Victims travel to another country only find themselves confined in illegal scam compounds with their personal documents taken away, and they're not able to continue their life. They're locked up like a slave.
It's probably not a good idea to admit you're space alien because people under observation should not know they're under observation. So probably should keep that. Yeah, that
ruins the experiment. Yeah, it ruins the experiment.
You're contaminating the control room.
All right. This has been Allison here and Roger from the U.S. East Coast of the U.S. as we tie up another Thursdays 13. Tomorrow will be Friday's News Dump, our final Before Coffee episode of the week to give you all the news you need to know about before the weekend so you don't doom scroll like those bad parents on the article I read earlier. No doom scrolling of the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Do something productive instead of just sitting in a couch in a puddle for 8 hours.
Friday tomorrow. It's not the weekend yet. We still
not already. No, but if you're, let me just finish the outro so we can finish the show.
Do I have to?
Don't forget to subscribe to For Coffee Podcast on YouTube and follow us on Twitch on the same name. Thank you to everyone who's already doing that with the notification on, so you know when we go live and post a video. And I appreciate all our Patreons under the Before Coffee supporter tier for supporting the show. Here is our mic drop moment.
Hello, my name is Ken Burns, and I've been making films about American history for more than 250 years. But today it feels like our country is more divided than ever. Thankfully, there is still one thing that unites us all as Americans, and that is our shared love of the historical documentary, which is why I'm proud to tell you about The Onion's newest film, America, Birth of a Nation, showing the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of our young nation as they've never been seen before. It's a cinematic experience that reminds us who we are as Americans, and one that, frankly,
the famous American politicians
and historical accuracy. Everything I got wrong, The Onion thankfully got right. So, if you've ever seen one of my many films, please forget everything they ever taught you about history and go watch The Onion's America, Birth of a Nation instead. You might finally learn something.
Last night. I watched that last night.
Free on YouTube. That's really nice. Yeah.
I watched it 26 minutes long.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.